Folks, it's 2026. You have no excuse. Everybody should be weight training. I don't care where you're from, what sex you are, how old you are, you should be weight training. There's just a plethora of benefits to weight training, and a lot of people still aren't doing it. I definitely find that it's better now. I'm based in Hong Kong, and I've noticed that there's a lot more people who are fit compared to before. I started weight training in 2012. It's been 14 years now since then, and I've definitely noticed that there's more jacked people, both guys and women, and it's awesome to see. I love it. However, I definitely still see that there's a lot of older adults that don't weight train, and that's a big problem. Let's talk about the benefits of weight training and why you should be doing it right now. Number one, builds muscle and bone mineral density. Uh, I think this video is probably targeted more towards older adults because a lot of people our age do know the benefits of it. They just either lazy or just can't be bothered. But even if it's not specifically for older adults, you've got to understand that if you are to train earlier, it makes your life much easier later on. It's never too late, but it definitely makes things a lot harder if you start later. So if you care about living a better life, longer life, yeah, I would suggest weight training. And this video is not about cardio today. It's just specifically on weight training, but I'll talk about the benefits of cardio as well and why you actually have to combine both to improve your health. But we need to establish what's the difference between health span and a lifespan. Lifespan is how long you can live, and obviously there's many ways you can improve that. And everyone talks about longevity, being able to live longer. But in my opinion, what's the point in living longer, living till you're 90 if by 70 you're struggling to walk properly? Then you've got 20 years of a lower quality of life. Whereas improving your health span is something that is important and needs to be talked about. It's improving your quality of life throughout your entire lifespan. Does that make sense? So if you live till you're 90, you want to make sure that you're able to still walk, move, function, pick up things, do things till you're 90. And I was listening to, I forgot which channel it was, but I think it was Life with Docs, two doctors, really funny stuff, awesome content as well. And they say you effectively want your fall off and death to be really close to where you start to deteriorate in quality of life. So you essentially want it to be a sharp decline and then you just die. You don't want it to be a progressive, slow deterioration of your quality of life. That's awful. Like I've seen it many times, including my grandparents. I see them go from being very fragile, starting to slowly lose muscle, lose bone mineral density. They struggle to be able to walk properly, and then it just becomes a massive downhill quality of life, not just for them, but as well as for the people around them. Because at the end of the day, I think the saying goes, it takes a whole village to raise a child. And I can say and agree with that statement for older adults as well. It takes a lot of effort to make sure that one older adult stays well and healthy. It is your job at the end of the day. There's no excuse. It is 2026. There's plenty of information now. There's no excuse. And I hear all the time, oh, but weight training is too dangerous for me. No, there's plenty of research to show that that's not the case. Muscle and bone mineral density, that's one. That's the main thing that resistance training offers. And the benefits can be seen really rapidly. A lot of older adults think, oh, well, I'm past 50 now. I'm past 60. I can't gain muscle. I'm losing testosterone. Yeah, no, that's not an excuse. There was a study done, and I think it was a doctor who talked about it in a TED talk, and it was an 80-something-year-old, I think it was female, who lost quite a bit of muscle and bone mineral density, and within a couple of months gained a significant amount of muscle back. It's doable, no excuse. Now I'm starting to realize that this is starting to head towards a rant towards older adults, and I guess that's the beauty of YouTube as well and my content. It's no unfiltered, it's not planned. I just want to talk about what I'm passionate about. This does still apply to anyone though. The more muscle and bone mineral density you build early in your life, the easier it becomes to maintain. There's plenty of studies to show that maintaining muscle and bone mineral density is much easier than building it, especially at a later age. Now, number two, managing your weight. Sure, there are studies to show that Weight training probably doesn't manage your weight as well as cardio, because when you do cardio, you're burning a lot more calories. However, the main thing about weight training is that it builds more muscle. Cardiovascular exercise doesn't help you do that. And when you build more muscle, it's going to be a little easier to maintain a healthier body composition, simply because you have more muscle. Your metabolism is going to be a little faster and higher. And when you have more muscle, it requires more carbs. It requires more energy. You can eat more. And when you eat more, you won't gain as much fat and much weight when you have more muscle. And that's the beauty of it. So that's why I always say you got to weight train to manage your weight. It's not just doing endless amounts of cardio. Number three, it lowers your blood pressure. It lowers unhealthy cholesterol, i.e., your LDLs. It also decreases cardiovascular disease risk. Now, obviously, cardio generally helps with decreasing cardiovascular disease risk a little better, but you shouldn't really treat them as mutually exclusive. You should be doing both. But again, there's plenty of physiological benefits for when it comes to weight training. On top of that, you're increasing your insulin sensitivity as well, which decreases your risk of having type 2 diabetes. When you increase insulin sensitivity, your body is able to control your blood sugar levels much better than if you were to not weight train. So definitely get on that too for that reason. If you're someone who already has high blood sugar levels, you struggle with insulin sensitivity and you're insulin resistant, get on weight training. I think there was a study done as well on people where their insulin sensitivity improves drastically just by weight training for a couple of months. Get on it. Next thing, this one's simple: joint, tendon, ligament strength. When you weight train, you will improve all three of those things. That improves joint integrity, joint health, and that's really important when you get older. You're not 18 anymore. You can't get away with being injured all the time. It becomes harder and harder when your joints, tendons, and ligaments are not strong enough. And that's the thing. They take much longer to build than muscle strength. Muscle strength can be built relatively quickly, but joint, tendon, ligament strength takes time. So you got to get on it early. The earlier you can get on it, the better it'll be. The better they'll be. And a lot of people don't stress, pardon the pun, don't stress the importance of improving your joint, tendon, and ligament strength for longevity. Everyone just focuses on building muscle. No, it improves all of that. And it also improves your mobility. I know a lot of people think, oh, if you weight train, that makes you tighter. No, it doesn't. If you increase your range of motion, if you train at longer lengths and longer ranges of motions, you will improve your mobility. Sure, it won't be as amazing as a gymnast, but they're really training at all forms and all degrees ranges of motions for the joints. So they're going to have better mobility. But no, even people who weight train, they will still have better mobility than the average person, so long as you train with good technique and at the right range of motion. As for mental benefits, there's plenty of studies to show, again, that it improves your mood, it decreases fatigue, it decreases anxiety, depression, stress, all these things. I think it's in Australia, doctors actually prescribe patients with physical exercise. That's how incredible and powerful this medicine is. I'm sure some of you have heard of exercise is medicine. Yeah, that's a program that doctors have initiated. It really improves so many different things. And oftentimes, that's the solution most people just need. Do a little more physical exercise, not medications, not all these random supplements that the supplement industry promotes to you. Most of it is crap, I promise you. 90% of the stuff you see on shelves, supplements, if you eat a healthy diet, you eat well, sleep well, you don't need any of that crap, okay? Yeah, now I'm getting a bit annoyed, because I definitely see a lot of marketers, supplement industry, everyone trying to promote all this crap that you don't need. What you need is a dose of exercise, some vitamin D, your sunlight. Nature has most of what you need already. Now, obviously, I'm not against Western medicine. I love Western medicine. I need it. When I'm sick, that's the best thing that can help me with. But when you're not sick, you need to be doing exercise to make sure that you maintain, your healthy immune system, your healthy practices, and that's what's going to give you a better quality of life. It also improves cognitive thinking. So we can talk about this later on in cardio, because racket sports have actually shown, like people who play racket sports have been shown to live the longest out of all athletes. So it's attributed to the fact that you have to think while you're moving as well. So you need to think, when am I going to anticipate to hit the ball? Where do I need to move? What's the strategy? And Weight training requires a little less of that, but it still improves your cognitive thinking. You need to think while you weight train as well. Especially if you're doing balance work, you're doing plyometric work. And plyometrics are great for older adults. If you don't know what plyometrics are, that's explosive training where you have to jump, you have to move. That improves your tendon strength, your ligament strength, your joint strength. I can't stress this hard enough. You've got to be doing stuff like that. That will help you not just improve your physical strength, but also your mental strength. And a big one, this is not just older adults, but for older adults, but for everyone, it improves your confidence. I can speak for myself that I was not a very confident person up until I started weight training. When I started seeing measurable progress where people start to notice that I look different, it improves your confidence. People start to take your opinions more seriously. It's just a fact. There's plenty of studies to show that people who are more attractive tend to be biased to have more positive biased thoughts from other people. People are more likely to think positively of you if you're more attractive. And what's the easiest way to get more attractive? Lift weights, build some muscle, look better. It's the easiest way to show people that you are determined, you're able to um, persist and be disciplined. People value that. Okay, it's not easy to get a good body. I think there's studies shown that, not study, well, kind of, there's more millionaires in the world than there are people with visible abs, something along those lines. And when I talk about visible abs, I don't mean just like having washboard abs and being skinny. I mean having a great physique along with visible abs. So that's an easy way to stand out, and it's not difficult. It's really not that difficult. If you just weight train consistently 3-4 days a week for 2-3 years, you will have a physique that's better than 90% of the population, if not 95, 99%. Okay. And when it comes to daily life, it just makes everything easier. You're able to pick things up. You don't feel tired all the time. You can get up. I definitely see people at 50 already struggling to move. They walk 1,000 steps and they struggle. They can't even run 1 kilometer. They can't carry their groceries. If you lift, it makes all that easier. You don't even think about it being difficult. It's really important. It also improves your posture. Now, posture is an interesting one. I'm not a physio, so you probably have to speak to a physio to talk about this. But generally speaking, I have noticed that people who weight train more, especially if they train enough of their back muscles, their posterior chain better, yes, they're going to have better posture. And weight training will help you do that. And finally, this one's maybe less important for older adults, but it improves your sports performance as well. So for the younger people that are listening to this, if you're only doing your sport specific work or training, you need to get in the weight room. You need to start hitting weights. A stronger athlete almost always makes a better athlete. If you compare two athletes and they both have the same level of skill, but one's a bit stronger than the other, the one who's stronger is almost always going to come out better in almost all sports. That's just how it is. I know I've gone on for a long time, but this is a big PSA. You've got to get into the weight room now. If you don't know what to do, get a trainer, get a friend, get someone to bring you in there. Get the habit going. Do it for at least 3 to 6 months. You will reap so much progress in those 6 months. And if you do it for a year, I promise you, do it well and consistently, you're going to make 50% of your career gains in that year. That's how fast you can see progress. I think over my 14 years of training, I probably made about 50% of my gains in the first year or two. Then the rest of it becomes a slow grind, but you don't even need any of that. If you just want to be healthy, you can maintain the rest of those gains for the rest of your life just by doing something really simple. So get on it. I hope this helps. Peace, and I'll see you next time.